Hello and welcome back to a brand new chapter. In this chapter, what we're going to do is start learning about programming language. And first I want to explain a couple different places that you can use programming languages and explain some differences between them and just kind of give you an overview of what we're going to learn in this course. So first of all, there are two places you talk about web development, and there are two primary places that we talk about. So you have the client side and you have the server side. Now remember, the client side is the person who's visiting your website that you're building, right? It's your computer. It's when you're on a computer and you're going to Google Chrome, you are the client. So that is client side. So we can actually use a client side programming language that runs on the person's computer who's using your website. And that is considered a client side programming language. Now, an example of that, and one we're going to learn in this course, is JavaScript. But what I think we're going to do first is learn server-side programming, and what we're going to use in order to learn the server-side programming is going to be a language called PHP. Now, what is PHP? PHP is a server-side programming language, and it's an interpreted language. What does that mean? Well, it's not really that important, but what it means is, okay, so when you write code, machines or computers, I call them machines or computers, whatever, they don't actually understand what you're writing, okay? They actually understand zeros and ones. That's called machine code, right? And so machine code is not very friendly for us to work in. And so really smart people invented programming languages to allow us to type in a more human readable language and then have that interpreted by the computer. Now, there are two ways this can happen. Some programming languages, you write it all and then you compile it, and that turns it into machine code. And then you take that machine code and you install it on your computer, or you upload it to a server, whatever, but that is considered a compiled language. PHP, on the other hand, is a little bit different. It is what's called an interpreted language. And rather than having to write code and then compile it and then run your code, it gets kind of compiled on the fly right before or as it is running, and that is called an interpreted language. So PHP is an interpreted language, and so we're not going to have to do any compiling with this. We're just going to write it and run it. We're going to have to use some software to do that, but I'll show you what that is. The other thing to note is that a lot of people may think, well, PHP is an old language, and it is. It's been around for a long time as one of the first programming languages used on the web. It wasn't the first, I don't think, but it's very, very popular. And if you're going to be in web development, you're going to at some point come across some PHP. So I think it's a really good language to learn. It's got great documentation. I actually really love programming in PHP. I've programmed in a few others. You can use Ruby, you could use Java, you can use Python. There's a lot of languages that could be used to write web applications on the server side, but by far the one that's the most popular is PHP. Now, one of the reasons for that is because PHP can be run on Windows servers, it can be run on Linux, it can be run on many, many different environments, and it's free and open source. So it is a free programming language that you can set up very easily on a server, and most servers just already have it installed. And so it's really quick and easy for us to just start writing PHP and make it work with very little fuss. Okay, so I think it's a great language to start with. Now, I've debated going back and forth whether I should teach you guys JavaScript first or PHP first, and I've kind of landed on I don't know what the best answer is there. They're so similar syntactically, the way that you write them, that I actually think what I'm going to do is teach you both of them in a row. And so we're going to start with PHP, go over the basics, and then I'm going to teach you the same exact concepts in JavaScript, and then we're going to build a project starting with PHP. Okay, so the next couple chapters are going to be just learning the basics of programming and showing you a few different ways to write those in a server-side language and in a client-side language. And again, I want to just encourage you, we're just in the beginning steps of learning this, so I want you to pay attention, I want you to learn, I want you to remember stuff. However, we're going to really I don't expect this to super sink in and understand why you do certain things until we start using it in projects. So I just got to give you guys high level information just to get us to some projects where we will put it all together and it will all make sense. Okay, so in the next video, we're going to talk a little bit about setting up what software we're going to need, and we're going to set up our computers so that we can run PHP in an environment that we don't have to pay for a server and upload our code to the server and see if it works. We can actually do that on our local computers here, and I'm gonna show you how to set that up. So we're going to do that, so yeah, I think that's all I got for this video. It's good to see you guys back. We will continue in the next video. We'll get setup done, and we're going to dive deep into programming with PHP, one of my favorite languages. I'll see you there.